Hello everyone, I am Burger, and I am here with chapter 935 analysis of One Piece, the chapter titled Queen. Now, before we get into this very, very good chapter, the cover page, or whatever it's called, the image at the beginning of the chapter, I'm blanking on the term, unless it is called cover page. Anyways, it is a bunch of mice firefighters trying to extinguish the smoke coming off of Smoker. It's very amusing. Anyways, we then get on to the chapter where someone named Lady Solitaire is freaking out about an idiot who let the key get stolen. And it said it was a man with a big face, so we can only presume this is none other than Ivankov, is what I immediately thought, but then it turns out it was actually Rizzo. In the very next page, Rizzo had stolen the key to the sea stone cuffs. And he did it in a really funny way, too. The guy with the crab claw and crab legs is saying, "The bastard tricked me! He said he was gonna put the fake key in the safe." Like, what? How bad at your job could you be? He handed it to him. This incredibly suspicious individual, Rizzo, he handed it to. I can't even, sometimes. And then we get back to Luffy punching the face out of that scorpion smile devil fruit guy. And it is revealed that he has a scorpion smile this episode. He had lots of legs. He was kind of dressed like Katakuri, to be honest. And his name is Daifugo. And he has like a little scorpion tail at the end of his hair. It's a very interesting character design. Anyways, Luffy beat the shit out of this guy, and they give some monologue about how he's going to be sentenced to death for raising a hand against a jailer. And everybody's like, yeah, you can't get away with it this time, you just kicked his ass in front of everybody. And what's interesting is I was starting to think that Luffy was like nearly immune to the level of sea stone that is on him, but he's panting really heavily. And then another smile devil fruit users, an elephant guy, he's actually pretty cool character design, straight out attacks him, and it actually seriously injures Luffy. And Luffy states that he can't use hockey, which is very interesting. And then it gets really good when we see Queen appear. He kind of acting like Frankie, to be honest. He's standing on a stage, shouting a song, shouting the word funk. He says, "If I slim down, I'll be too popular, so I'm the type to stay deliberately chubby." It's an excellent excuse. And, most importantly, we get his bounty. 1,320,000,000 berries. That is very interesting. Very, very interesting. That is quite a bounty. Technically, Luffy's bounty is still higher, but I think for the first time ever, Luffy is getting overhyped instead of underhyped. Which is very interesting from a narrative standpoint, because Luffy has always been underhyped, and now Luffy is finally being overhyped. With a bounty of 1.5 billion. So, I don't think this is going to be an easy fight for Luffy by any means. Furthermore, he's still in the sea stone cuffs. And, Queen has no idea what's going on. He has no idea that Eustace Kid escaped, the sea stone cuffs have been stolen, and Straw Hat Luffy being on the run. But Queen, he's just very funny and amusing character. But I have a feeling he's also incredibly evil. That's what I'm hoping for anyways. And then it cuts away from the conversation with Queen and the deputy wardens, and it cuts over to a conversation between the strange man that was talking to Zoro, Frankie, Usopp, and Law, all meeting in the house where the village where everybody was starving to death but was laughing regardless. And the strange man that was following Zoro around, he said that Zoro ran off, said my sword was stolen or something, which is interesting because the very last thing we saw was Zoro getting very upset about seeing the state of this village where everybody's starving to death and is laughing. And they recently came into some money, and what did they spend the money on? Water. That's how poor they are. They didn't even buy food. They bought water. So I have a feeling Zoro's going to go kill the Shogun right now. At least that would be really badass and cool. And then we get over to the fan service. Alright, I feel like that was an appropriate amount of pause. And, because Nami, Robin, and Shinobu said that they were going to go to the bathhouse. And they did. But, one small plot twist is that it is a mixed bath. And all the men are acting like slutty virgins that have never seen a naked woman before. You know, like Sanji. And are acting like Sanji in a really creepy way. Love Sanji, by the way. That was not an insult directed towards Sanji. It was just a fact directed towards Sanji. I love Sanji. Speaking of which, Sanji finally got his invisibility powers, and the bath is a mixed bath. Furthermore, they were just talking about where Sanji went, and then they cut to the bath. So I have a feeling Sanji is in this room. And then they get into a conversation about Hyogoro of the flowers? Of the flower. Not flowers. I had to check that for a minute. Who we recently found out was the tiny old man in the prison. Which was very interesting to find out because that tiny old man was getting a lot of screen time. I thought it was interesting. I wasn't particularly suspicious, though, as there's often weakling, unimportant characters that get lots of screen time just for the purpose of establishing narrative. I did not expect him to be Hyogoro of the Flower. And that's who he is. And they're talking about how it would be so freaking great if they knew him, because he was so influential and so powerful. Everybody loved him, even though he was a Yakuza. So it'd be great if he was in charge. But Kyoshiro was in charge, and it's very unclear what Kyoshiro's alliance is. He doesn't seem to like, what's his face? Orochi very much. And he doesn't seem to be a complete shitball, but he is working for the bad guys, and even though he's young, and he wasn't around 20 years ago, he wasn't a thing 20 years ago, he had an exclamation point over his head when he saw the note for the revolution that they were handing out to people. And during this conversation, they only got 500 people by handing out that note. So it's very unclear if Kyoshiro is going to be the one to reveal the plan because he recognized the note, or if he's a good guy and he's going to join up with the plan as well. It's very unclear. And then it cuts away over to an octopus washing the backs of a bunch of naked women. And this makes me think of something specific. Something specific. It makes me think of a takoyaki titty bar. That's what it makes me think of. And then it cuts away towards, once again, Plague, Queen the Plague. And he is offering amnesty to Luffy once again. We'll forgive everything you do if you join us. And honestly, even if Luffy joined him, he'd probably even spare the old man as well. But Luffy's not up for that. Luffy is the most prideful. And with that pride comes his power. And while Luffy is having this conversation with Queen the Plague, who I quite enjoy as a character, as I've already established, Raizo is freaking out because he's got the key, but Luffy's like right in front of him. And then Raizo looks behind him, and the silhouetted figure inside of the cage is indeed, as many people guessed, one of the 3 people that Raizo and Ko were trying to find, Kawamatsu. Now, I have a theory on why this person is silhouetted. See, we don't know what Kawamatsu looks like, and this was an easy guess. So why is this person silhouetted? Well, they've made it very clear multiple times that if you defy the guards at the prison, you get your arms and legs cut off. And this person, Kawamatsu, has been being fed poisonous fish every day. And when somebody didn't cut the bones out, he spat the bones at somebody. He didn't throw the bones at somebody. He spat the bones at somebody. Could this be because he doesn't have arms and legs? That would be dark as shit. But from what we've seen in this arc already, and in last arc, I think that's exactly up Oda's alley at the moment. See, Oda likes to make One Piece very happy at sometimes and very dark at other times. But it seems like since the Yonko have become a thing, everything is dark. Everything. And I honestly think it's a possibility that this person has neither arms nor legs. That's what I think. And I had guessed that a while back, but after they keep saying over and over again that if you defy the guards, you lose your arms and legs, I really think this guy has no arms and legs. I'm just repeating myself at this point, but that's what I've got to say. That's going to be it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly did. That is what I've got to say about this chapter. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff has been happening every chapter. You think there's going to be like a slow chapter coming up eventually. And speaking of which, we never saw how Sanji's fight with Page 1 ended. So, it's a lot of stuff that's unclear. And I was really not expecting Komurasaki to die. And I honestly think she's dead. A lot of times, you think a character's dead, but they're not. I think Komurasaki is dead, because I think that would do more interesting stuff for the narrative at this point. Because Oda's been seriously stepping up his game in the Wano arc. It's a really good arc so far. The art style's been more fun, the character designs have been more fun, the Smile Devil Fruits and other creative elements have been more fun. A lot of stuff has been more fun. Like what's up with the ninjas. And everything has just been great. I'm very excited for this arc, and I have a feeling this is going to be the best arc yet. I like this arc a lot. That's it for today, everyone. Bye. If you have anything to say, please let me know. I'd love to hear all feedback. And that's it. Bye.